I was always interested in plants growing up, but I wasn't considering studying it until I got to university. I initially wanted to do biotechnology, and I met many inspirational professors and lecturers that focused on plant science. And so I only properly considered it until I was in maybe my second or third year of university. I work at the John Innes Center in the Department of Crop Genetics, and so my PhD focuses on wheat. In our lab, we research yield traits. And so I focus specifically on how the wheat inflorescence develops, how this relates to the yield of the plant. But mostly I'm spending my time developing new techniques to understand how genes are expressed in the wheat inflorescence. So the typical day of a PhD student will really vary depending on where you are in your project. But this usually involves a few hours in the lab, doing some experiments, and then followed up by some data analysis. So some months I'll be in the lab all day, other months I'll be working on the computer, just analyzing or writing. And then sometimes members of our lab are out in the field, but I don't do that so much. I was interested in applying for PhD programs, and I was encouraged by the Gatsby Foundation to apply to the Sainsbury studentship. And this involves picking a lab and designing a project together. And so I actually had no idea who to contact, and I also didn't know what sort of project I wanted to do. And what I ended up doing is speaking to members of the Gatsby Network. And there was someone I had a conversation with, and I just asked very candidly, if you could do a PhD with anyone, anywhere in the UK, and you're in my position, who would you pick? No project or subject in mind. And she recommended to me my current supervisor. And I found actually I loved the project that we designed together. I found it really interesting, and it was a great lab to pick. And so once I selected that lab, I applied for the funding for my project, and we were funded by the Sainsbury studentship. So that's how I found it.